the enemy might try and kidnap me and hold me ransom.
We get paid by the word.
Today we're at Monticello.
Nope, Mount Vernon.
Today we're at Mount Vernon.
And we're hoping to get inside the house.
And meet some re-enactors.
And we're gonna learn what life was like when George Washington was alive.
So come on, check out Mount Vernon with us. I'm excited to share this experience with my family. They've got a cool visitor center here, and I'm enjoying watching the kids learn about the life of George Washington. Everything is really coming to life here.
I feel like this is gonna be not at the museum where he's gonna come to life or something. Ooh.
I think they have some reenactors here today. I'm hoping we can find some.
Sophie and I think you're gonna run and find a restroom real quick and come right back to you, okay?
Okay.
See ya.
Hey Dad, do you think we can find Mrs. Washington? Do you think that'd be cool if we can talk to her?
Oh, that would be cool. Did you hear that? My 13-year-old daughter is really getting into it. She's asking to go see Mrs. Washington. I hope we find her. This could really be a super cool experience.
Guys, these gardens are beautiful. What do you think?
I really like how they attract the butterflies. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the gardens at Monticello.
Those were really cool, weren't they?
Ooh, there's Mrs. Washington. Let's go see her.
Okay, that's cool. Can you come closer so the microphone can pick us up? I'm here with Mrs. Washington.
I rise early in the morning, about 5 o'clock, and I oversee the making of breakfast. Doll and Lucy in the kitchen rise at 4 to begin building up the fires. You know, I was in Philadelphia in July of 1776. I had gone to take the smallpox inoculation and was recovering from it. When I returned to Mount Vernon later in the summer, I went and gathered up my basket of cures. I would join the general at every winter camp and not only bring the supplies, but because I was protected against the smallpox, I could go amongst the enlisted men and nurse them. And I tell you now, that is the greatest privilege and honor I'll ever have.
So you did that?
I did.
That's incredible.
Early in the war, the general had some concerns that the enemy might try and kidnap me and hold me ransom, but I was never afraid of that.
Last summer, we went to Thomas Jefferson's home. Was he ever a guest here at this home?
He has not yet. We used to meet him a great deal down in the old capital, Williamsburg. He's not yet traveled here.
Okay.
Maybe one day.
On your grounds here, what do you think is the most beautiful thing to see here on your grounds?
Well, frankly, so where we are sat, we are sitting on the piazza overlooking the river. The general's always said no estate in all America is more pleasantly situated. But I hope that when people come, they remember that he didn't have years to sit on this piazza and enjoy the view because he was gone. Every time the country called him, he would leave his beloved home. And that is what makes it special.
All right, babe.
No.
Let's do me and you.
Right.
Well, we don't all have to be in this one. We're in line to go see inside the house.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Going in the house is super cool. Getting to see Chloe and Sophie experience this and learning what they're learning and seeing actual history where George Washington actually was, where history actually happened. This is a really, really cool experience for our family. I'm so glad we're getting to do this. Let me tell you about what we've seen. We just finished touring inside the house, and it was really neat to see. You're able to go in and see the entire bottom floor, and part of that is the dining room, which has a great big table and lots of chairs. You could have lots of company in there.
Yeah, Sophie, what's something you saw that caught your eye?
Well, I have a fun fact.
Okay.
So George Washington's father built the house as a small farmhouse, but then he kept adding on to it to make it look like what it is today.
I was really intrigued by the desk that was in the study. It was the desk that George Washington had in his retirement. He actually sat at that desk to write his last will.
That was his actual desk that belonged to him?
Right. A lot of the furniture that was in the study was just remade or created to look like what would have been accurate at the time, but that desk was the actual one. One of the things he included in there was that he wanted the enslaved people that were occupied, people who worked here, to be freed upon his death, and he was the only president who ever did that.
Founding father.
He was the only founding father who ever did that.
Another thing we saw was in some of the rooms were painted with green and blue paint, and we learned that those were some of the more expensive paints that you could buy, and so I guess that was a way of showing how wealthy you were.
Look, y'all, that's George Washington right there on the portico.
Dad, you know it's not really George Washington, right?
Well, it sure does look like him.
Thank you, Sophie. I agree.
We get paid by the word.
Okay, so. Okay, sir. I'm so excited. I hope we get to see this. We've all gathered around the house for the firing of the cannon. They set this up, but we've been waiting for quite some time. So I really hope we get to see it.
We really...
Wait, do you want me to say that part?
No.
Make sure to check out the video about Thomas Jefferson's house at Monticello.